Walking out of bad buildings.
I see.
So I was doing that. I was avoiding the worst parts of town. I knew to stay out of the bad buildings, and I even knew that when I was extremely hit that I should take a shower and change my clothes.
Because you learned that from the Army.
Yeah.
You learned the idea of decontamination from when you were working in the nuclear silo.
Yeah.
And
biological warfare training when we were doused with CS gas, which is the military tear gas. And we would get it on our clothes, and you had to wash your clothes very well, because if you didn't, the lingering traces would give you a really nasty effect the next day.
Wow. So this is the very same idea.
It's the same idea.
I see.
But just
because you're talking about toxins. You're talking about Stachybotrys giving off this dead toxin, which then is what you respond to.
Yeah.
It's the very same idea.
So by comparing my results to the pathetic results that all these people with the expensive therapies were doing, I decided that my cheap and easy desert therapy was what I was going to pursue. And I told people about it, and they weren't interested. I don't understand why. I've never got a good explanation for that.
And so let's go into a little bit further.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm going out to Carson City, and I'm hanging out at this airport out there that has a 700-foot dirt strip.
Okay. A private airport or a smaller one?
It was a STOL port where small planes could land.
Okay.
And I'm hanging out hoping to get back into my hobby of flying.
Sure.
And I see a guy out there in the midday sun raking a 700-foot runway with a hand rake. I mean, he's sweating up a storm. He's
seems like there's a little more effort than you need to really have.
Yeah, especially when I looked over and I saw a tractor there equipped with a rake.
the big one, the big 8-foot rake.
The one that you drive up and down the runway to clean it.
Got it.
And I'm going, what on earth is this guy doing? And I was consumed by curiosity.
Well, as I can understand.
Because the tractor was in plain sight. He could
get it there at any time.
Yeah, and I'm sure they would have let him use it. And I couldn't understand what on earth does he really think he's going to rake this entire runway with that little rake?
Okay.
So I couldn't stand it any longer, and I went out to, make sure he knew about the tractor.
Did you notice?
Yeah, I did. I pointed over to him.
I just wanted to.
And I said, I'm sure they'd let you fire it up. And he looked at me, and he just gave me the funniest look. It was quite a moment. He was obviously working it out in his mind. Okay, do I make up some stupid excuse, some lame reason, or
that you're doing it?
Do I
just come out with it?
And he just came out with it.
What did he say?
He said, well, it's like this. I live in Incline Village, and I've got this illness. It's called chronic fatigue syndrome. And I come out here and I do this. I sweat in the sun out here in the desert because it helps more than anything else.
So someone else had inadvertently discovered the very same thing you did.
Yep. We were on the same place doing the same thing for the same reason.
Interesting. What was his name?
Jim Cuff.
And do you know him still today?
No.
No?
Unfortunately, he was killed in an airplane crash.
Huh. But he had found a way to help him.
Sure.
Going through the very same thing you're going through. And it was the same idea.
Right.
Of going out there.
I never met him in Incline. Somehow our paths didn't cross.
Even in 8,000 people, he still hadn't crossed.
Right.
That's right.
And yet we met out in the desert doing mold avoidance. What are the odds of that?
The odds are extremely low.
And he was just as shocked as I was that the people back in Incline weren't interested in what we were doing. They would become so intolerant to food, they had given up everything. They're trying to subsist on the most ridiculous restricted diets, and here we go.
Lemon water and...
Yeah, we go out to the desert and our food intolerance disappears. We've got energy, we can breathe, we feel good. So, what did we do? After hanging around and flying, we went out to the pizza joint and had beer and pizza.
And everyone else has got these restricted diets like none other.
Yeah.
So you helped keep the pizza place in business for a while?
I did my best.
And so you've seen these therapies clearly, and so in 30 years, you've met a lot of people that have the very same thing you're going through. And they've probably tried lots of different therapies like this. Is there anything new that's come up since that time that sound interesting, that you've possibly seen results from yet? Go ahead.
In terms of therapy?
I guess, yeah, and things that doctors may prescribe, or is there anything that's changed since the 1980s? It's the same kinds of minerals and vitamins.
No, I really can't see that anything has changed. In fact, because Incline had access to all the latest technology, the most expensive things, a lot of the therapies that people have only started doing recently, that they think are new, were actually tried many years before.
Interesting. So there's nothing new under the sun, just like the Bible says. Nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, people talk about the findings of the B cell abnormalities, the loss of mitochondrial function, the low natural killer cell function in the